Hello, everybody, and welcome to another happy Friday when we get to have a look at more of the maps that are being shown off in these Tinto Talks for Project Caesar. And today we have kind of an in between region, let's be honest. We saw already the Crimea and the steppe area. We've seen India. Now we're getting this area right here, which is Khorasan. I'll come back to this, and Tibet, and it's
Xinjiang.
Xinjiang. Okay, look, I have been practicing. I have been trying to make sure that my pronunciations are up to par, so that people don't get angry at me. I'm not, I just thought it'd be funny. Anyway, let us get into today's Tinto maps and we'll see what is going on. This one is not being written by Pavia as they're on vacation. And they're going to be gone for like a month because Swedish company still, even though they're in Barcelona, and they have kind of insanely generous vacation time. So, yeah, no, very cool. Hope they have a good time wherever they are going. So this time we have Roger. He's been, for very many years, an avid Paradox fan in and out of the EU franchise in particular. And then his first encounter was in EU2. Joined Tinto in 2021. They've been working on Caesar ever since, so I haven't seen them around the community, though some may remember him from appearances in other events like the Grandstand or some Twitch streams. The boring part is out of the way. Getting to know people is not boring. Let's focus on the fun part of the map. Today they'll be showcasing Khorasan, I've forgotten,
Xinjiang,
and Tibet. There's some overlap with the previous Tinto maps, but they'll make the stitching of different pieces even easier for Jums77. Let's be honest, he's the one that does it, and the maps that he makes, pretty awesome. Loving that. Anyway, countries. We have here what we're looking at. I'm curious, how much of India did we actually see in, how much of Tibet did we see in the India map? How far north did this go? Okay, so we saw kind of all of this, they just didn't really focus and talk about it. But now we've got it again, and then we're looking mostly at the northern area, like Chagatai, Mangalai, Kacho. And Chagatai looking way nicer when you color in all of the mountains or the plateau. That I thought this area was all like flat, right? It's high up but it's flat kind of way. Yeah, when you color in the wasteland, let's say, the Chagatai looking way more filled out, let's say. Chagatai starts in a strong position, with even the remnants of the old kingdom of Kacho as its vassal. However, the internal situation of it is not that stable, with a lot of religious struggles, as you'll see in the religion map. Besides, there is a certain one-year-old baby around that may cause them some problems in the future. That baby being, of course, Timur. In the south, Tibet is under the control of the Sakya monastery, with other Tibetan estates under its umbrella, while the Sakya itself bows to the authority and also enjoys the patronage of the Yuan dynasty of China. Right, that is correct. We were told before that to play as Timur, and then eventually the Timurids, then you would be playing as Chagatai. That is something we have heard before, if I am not mistaken. And actually, I'm going to go look that up. Yes, here it is. Johan saying that you need to start as Chagatai to get the option to play as Timur. That is, human players get to play as them. You need to start as Chagatai. So I think this tag is going to be very popular with players because, like, playing as Timur is going to be something that a lot of people might be into, right? Everyone here almost certainly has played EU4. We all know that the Timurids exist. We all know what size the Timurids are, what kind of potential they have, what their expected path is, and that is a very good narrative. Okay, so Timur. Didn't they also go and beat on the Ottomans for a while before the start of EU4? I'm almost certain that that was also a thing that happened. So, look, I think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be very, very interested in playing as Chagatai, so they can play as Timur, form the Timurids, and then, beat on the Ottomans, take over Persia, go into India, form the Mughals. That is going to be, I think, a very, very popular game start. So let's hope that Chagatai itself is in a good situation at the start of the game, so we can enjoy that as well. There are no societies of pops to show in this area. Okay, fair enough. And then dynasties. Borgajin, dynasty, of course, for Chagatai. Then there is the Aksu and the Adis. The name isn't too shy and doesn't want to appear in the picture. Yes, it's kind of a large area that the Borgajins control. I wonder what happened there. But anyway, on to the locations, and this map is... look, I like the wasteland. Again, I said that last time. I'm saying it again. I think this looks really, really good. I think this is a good color to pick, a good way to represent, and it looks distinct. It stands out from the other colors of the locations. So I'm not unhappy with that. And let's have a look at a close look, because I can't tell anything here. Going over, this is the Aral Sea. Yeah, the little Aral Lake thing that doesn't exist anymore very much. But yeah, there are quite a lot of little tiny locations over here in between the wastelands. I don't know if going down here, this is more than likely the Himalayas when we get down this far. But these vast open areas, I think, is just like steppe wasteland. Maybe some salt flats in there somewhere. But that's looking pretty nice. The Himalayas themselves, I really, really like how it's broken up like this. In EU4, basically what we had is these huge, colossal mountain, or I think there was a glacier province or two over there, and they were absolutely massive, and it made attacking into India from the north, like, obviously very agonizing, very painful. You didn't like doing it. But it also made defending it super easy because you just had one fort. There are like a dozen paths into India from the north here, and sure, it's gonna be a way to, you block up all of those paths with forts, but there are more to do. There are more paths that you need to block up. So yeah, I would say this is a lot more interesting than the Tibet of EU4 for sure. As for provinces, which I think honestly is one of the least interesting maps that we get in these Tinto talks, and especially when we get a whole lot of wastelands that kind of looks a bit awkward. I mean, this one here, right? Taklamakan. This is wasteland. This is wasteland. This is wasteland. This province is two separated little areas, and I don't know, these two little they're not corridors, because that's a specific thing. At least I think they're not corridors. But there's two separated like location areas, and they're in the same. I don't like this. This here is not something I'm in favor of. Provinces should be contiguous, in my opinion. As for areas, then we've obviously got the Tarim Basin, Amdo, Chagatai, Transoxania. Yeah, makes sense. But for terrain, we have the vast, colossal, imposing, scary Himalayan mountains. Some hills, plateaus, and flatlands. All of this, of course, is... if it's dashed on the map, then it is a wasteland, of course. But nothing here that is unpredictable, right? We have lots of plateau, lots of mountain, hills. Makes sense. As for the climate, we have cold, arid, lots of Arctic in the mountainous regions, a continental, which is actually surprising. I didn't expect to see that, but cold, arid there. A little bit of Mediterranean here and there dotted around, which is also kind of interesting. And of course, when you go into India, then it's subtropical. And then for vegetation, desert, lots of sparse, and then when you go north of, I guess, is this also the Himalayan mountains over here, or is this called something different? Like it's kind of a extension of the Himalayan mountains, but then when you go north of that, then it's getting into a bit of grassland, some farmland dotted around here and there as well, which is interesting that there are places that should have had farmland or were expected to have farmland that have none, and then here I did not expect to have farmland, and there is some. So certainly that is interesting as well. As for the development, there's not a whole lot. There ain't a whole lot of development here, but that's fine. Clicking on it, it's very dark brown and red, and especially when you see it contrasted with the high development of the Delhi Sultanate down here. Yeah, there is... No wonder Timur wants to leave here and go over here and get some better development, of course. Not much development to go on in these parts, although we'll probably have to make some adjustments, as right now the contrast, especially in the area of Gansu, may be a bit harsh. Okay. As for cultures, do we have any large amounts of cultural minorities? So the Uyghurs are spreading around over here, the Kyrgyz people, some there, Oirats, Uzbeks. I'm not sure what the blue one is. I don't think that's Lanyan. I think this is Yuan, isn't it? So whatever culture they end up being, maybe that is what is spreading out on the right. Let's have a closer look at the Himalayas as well. Changpas and Utsang, nice. I like it. I think this looks good. I'm honestly kind of ignorant on what it should be, so I can't exactly say, this is wrong, or wait, what about this? All I can say is from a gamer's perspective, it looks good. I like seeing cultural minorities. I think it is interesting. I think all these cultures have technically already been shown in previous maps before, but some of them didn't have their names visible. Obviously, the most varied areas are the Himalayas, while the more expansive and less populated ones are more extended. Alright, as for religion, Tengri, Mahayana, and then Sunni coming in over here. So definitely triple faiths coming in to merge in the Himalayas. As I said before, Chagatai starts in a very interesting position in terms of religion. Tengri, Muslim, and Buddhist. Buddhist instead. Oh, Mahayana is Buddhist, right? Mahayana Buddhism, I think that's right. Mixed in with also some Hindu and Nestorians. The starting ruler himself is actually a Nestorian too. So they're sure to have some religious conflicts one way or the other. On the other hand, Tibet has a stronger presence of both Buddhism and Bön. I don't know how you pronounce this. The O is like a in like Swedish, but I don't think this region speaks Swedish, so I don't know. I don't know. One thing I want to say here is we're studying the options of breaking up the big Mahayana block that we currently have, so understand the Mahayana presented here is work in progress. Good to know. Raw materials. What do we have here? Livestock. We have horses. A lot of horses up there in the north. I think I want to zoom in and see some larger maps here. So, some fruit. What do we got? Mercury. That's one that you don't see too much of. But yeah, horses and cotton and wool. Livestock. That all makes sense. Then moving into the Tibetan region. I found my medicaments, so we're good. We don't need to worry about that. Wild game there in the north as well. Very expected, I would say. I saw some silver there as well. Very cool. As one would expect, the more resource-rich areas are in and around the mountains, while the harsh conditions of the Tibetan plateau and deserts allow for less. Makes sense. Markets. It was already shown that this was a, I guess, mistake. Johan had said in a previous Tinto talk that basically he had applied this scaling, rendering kind of, you know, the borders of every location, getting this shading, and he applied it to all map modes, which was a mistake. So at some point, expect that this will be changing. He has already, you know, admitted that he made a mistake on this. So expect this will be changing. We don't need to go over how it is a bad idea. I don't think it was the idea. But anyway, this is what the it looks like, the markets, and it's kind of, yeah, it's hard to see what's where. We have the Samarkand, makes sense. Kashgar, we got Turpan. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Let me see, can I grab this word and we'll pop it into here.
Guangzhou.
Guangzhou. Right, in Guangzhou. We have that as well. And this is with the UI of the market centers on as well. Of the Leh, Lhasa, and wherever that is as well. The classic of Samarkand, Almaty, Kashgar, and Turpan establish a clear corridor for the Silk Road going into China through Guangzhou, while Tibet is divided between Leh and Lhasa. Population time. And Chagatai itself has 14 million pops. Now, I was not expecting that. I was not expecting 14 million pops to be in Chagatai. That is certainly a surprise to me. I would imagine that maybe it's not a surprise to you because you're a smarter cookie. And then we have 105 and 108,000 for the two little guys up there as well. That is certainly a surprise to me. I'm not going to lie. Despite the number being visually smaller, Chagatai has the most population with 14 million, while Tibet follows with 298,000. You can see here, if you hadn't noticed it in the previous maps, there are many parts of the Tibetan plateau that show zero population, but aren't impassable terrain or corridors, as those don't show population values at all. This means that these locations are able to be traversed and also colonized, although their harsh conditions won't make either of these easy. Alright, so a little bit of a closer look so we can see interesting areas here. Some 100,000, 308,000 right here. Looking good. Yeah, zero population. Place you can colonize. Interesting stuff. And yeah, just zeros dotted around the place because why not? But yeah, a little bit of a colonization gameplay if you wish to play as Timur as well. But yeah, that is certainly very interesting. Yeah, the zeros kind of stand out now, don't they? Anyway, that is it for today. Next week we'll be following in the horse's steps and visit Mongolia and Manchuria together with Eastern Siberia. Okay, so the map is filling in and it looks like we're just covering the north and then we're going to swing down to, I would assume, after this, there will be China, then Southeast Asia, we get like Vietnam, Ayutthaya, then probably going into Indonesia and Spice Islands, maybe then go to Australia, and then probably some Pacific Islands, and then into America from the east, potentially? Sorry, yeah, well, the east being China, but the west coast of America is what I'm talking about. That's very interesting. Alright, what do I think of this? I think, obviously, Chagatai is going to be high on my radar to play. I think it's going to probably be high on the radars of many, many people. Because, not to play as Chinese Horde, but honestly, Timur is just such an interesting historical character that I think a lot of people, myself included, are going to be very interested in playing as him. Let me know what you guys think. Is there something here that is not Timur that has caught your eye? And thinking that it's going to be the craziest, most fun gameplay that I've kind of missed on. I know that in Antebellum, the EU4 mod, a very popular nation was actually this one here, Amdo, because I think they had like +1 cav fire in their ideas. I don't know if that's going to be the case in EU5. It's you know, probably not, but that could also be a popular choice for the people looking for you know, their cavalry fix. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date and informed about everything coming out of Project Caesar. There will be another video tomorrow where I look at the responses and comments that have been posted in response to the Tinto talks on Wednesday, and also probably this one here as well, depending on how many comments are in each Tinto talk, and if I split that into 2 videos or not. But anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.